I'm ready. Hello, welcome to another episode of Clipchat, your weekly podcast on everything disability, whether we as usual is every day and David and tonight is a special episode because we invite a new friend, Timothy Lachlan. Hello, Timothy.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me, and hi to everyone else.
Yeah, hi guys. Thanks for having me back on the show, back on the podcast, Jonathan.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan, for inviting us back on. It's David here. And hello, everyone.
Yeah, so Jonathan, what are we gonna be talking about tonight?
Tonight we're talking about a topic Timothy suggested: intersectionality and COVID-19.
So, Jonathan, intersectionality seems like such a very long word. Timothy, can you just talk us through it? What exactly is intersectionality?
Yeah, I do agree. Intersectionality. It's a bit of a hard word to wrap your mouth around at first, but from my understanding, it basically refers to, I guess, I don't know. It's hard for me to try and explain, but for instance, like race, class, gender, like those are all, I guess, categories and stuff. And intersectionality is when those two sort of meet. So, for example, if you're a Indigenous person but you're also disabled, I guess that's sort of intersectionality because you are both disabled and you have, I guess, the label of being Indigenous. So, in saying that, you would potentially suffer like negative consequences from society in both aspects. So, for instance, people might discriminate against you on the basis of your Aboriginality as well as your disability.
Yeah, that's right. And also, it happens with people from cold backgrounds, so culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds, who also have a disability, because they are seen as minority, and so
Yeah.
often, it's hard for them. Would you agree with that, David?
Yes. They're also considered as to be outcasts.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. And so,
Yeah.
like Timothy said, you suffer consequences from both sides. Having a
Yeah.
disability as well as being from a non-English speaking background,
Yeah.
and it can be difficult at times.
Yeah. I feel
So
it's an
how exactly do we address the intersectionality, and what can we do to make people aware?
Yeah, well, it's just that because many people don't really know the term, and I guess awareness starts just in talking about it. So, as I said, many people aren't aware that it's a thing, and by starting the conversation, and as I was going to say, I got the idea to talk about intersectionality from the current protests that are happening in America. So,
Oh yeah.
for me, I feel that's an important thing to bring up because in Australia, we're currently bringing up that discussion how this movement is affecting Indigenous people. So there's also like thousands of Australians who are Indigenous but also have disabilities, and I feel that if we can, I guess, shed some light on intersectionality, we can make people aware of it, and that's the first step in, I guess, advocating for change so we can remove societal and racism barriers and move towards a more equal society.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. What are your thoughts, Jonathan?
Well, to me, the current events affecting race and indigenous persons also apply to people with disabilities because I can say from personal experience that while most police understand disability, there is a minority which don't give a stuff whether a person is disabled or not, and in fact, if you're disabled, you're much more vulnerable to police brutality.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and I guess addressing Grace's question here that I see down the bottom. Do you think there could be more measures in place to support people who experience intersectionality as opposed to one minority group alone? I guess it begins in having these conversations, and for instance, this being a disability organisation, the fact that we can acknowledge that race plays a part in discrimination, whether you're disabled or not, that's a good first step. And I guess we have to take that education and also share it with people in law enforcement so they can not only be culturally sensitive, but also, I guess, aware of how to treat people with disabilities to reduce the rate of violence that we experience.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And also with in terms of like support and stuff, there are some organizations that do help. I guess the minorities. They do provide that support. They do provide that help. Um, but just like Timothy said, we just need to be aware. We need to raise awareness on these minorities, and yeah, offer the support that we can.
Yeah, exactly.
to make them like more inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, David?
Yeah, well, we got my thoughts. A lot of people who have disabilities, they find it hard as it is, but to be discriminated with something else also, that's even more.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
gotta educate.
Yeah.
Whether we have disabilities and they've got a different thing. Also, they
Yep.
can be prejudiced against. It's
That's right. That's
some
right.
people with disability can't handle it.
Yeah. We got to educate, not to
It's
discriminate.
called education. Education is the name of the game.
True. True. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I, in my personal opinion, I believe the media and social media are very powerful tools for changing people's opinions and getting the message out there.
Yeah.
Because people don't know until they're exposed to new concepts,
They-
really.
That's what the media is there to make you think the way they want you to think.
And I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more with you. Yeah. The media plays a powerful role in the way we think.
Like, what's the name of the President of the United States? Keeps calling them fake news.
Yeah, because we're not exposed to these, I guess, minority groups, like face to face. But often we get tricked into believing what the TV or what social media tells us about these people. That makes us think otherwise.
Yeah. They let us think that the minority is the majority. So if there's one bad egg, one bad apple, the rest are bad apples.
There is, and that's true. That is very true. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. But just memorizing the name of it can be a bit daunting. Intersectionality takes a couple of minutes just to say the name.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult one to wrap your head around at first.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, but like David said, it's all about educating.
Yeah, and not only
education is good.
Yeah, we also need to educate, I guess, at school levels as well. So teaching children so they can grow up with those lessons and understanding of diversity, equality, and treating people with respect. So then they grow into adults and treat people with respect.
And that's right. Because no one is born racist. Nobody is born racist. You're actually taught how to be a racist, and I guess it reflects who you are as a character. So that later on, you're gonna be spreading that racism and the hatred. So I guess it passes on. Well, would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
How about you, Jonathan? Would you agree?
What they want you to think.
Well, the thing is, I could teach Indigenous history in schools. I don't understand why do we teach disability from the perspective of the social model in schools, because it is at those formative stages where we can eradicate future discrimination. Exactly how Martin Cuban says, educating from an early age can change the future generations. So my question is it time we have disability along with race in the school curriculum?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
I
sure.
definitely believe we need to include disability in school education. Like my
Exactly.
first exposure to
And the
disability.
concept of intersectionality, I guess, should be included in the curriculum.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And by including it in the curriculum, yeah, we will change the way society views things. Like I was going to say, my first exposure to disability was when I was in grade 3 when I actually transferred to a state school. But prior to that, I'd never really been exposed to people in wheelchairs, despite having a sibling with autism. So, like as you said, Jonathan, those formative years they really do make a difference.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
They should do something at school where they do a bit of sort of exposure to people with disability and other people where they
Yeah,
help.
yeah, I've seen some programs, but they're like conducted by like external organizations where they come into schools and they bring like wheelchairs and those glasses you can wear to simulate, I guess, different types of blindness and stuff, and they let children sort of experience disability from that scope. And I think more of that definitely needs to be done and more included in the curriculum. So I guess that's where organizations like this come into play because we can advocate for those changes and I guess help shape the future by changing the way people think through education.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I couldn't agree more. It is what it is, but we need to we need to keep in mind that educating is key. It's important that we do educate, whether we start out small or we throughout our life. We need to continually educate.
Yeah, exactly. Like you never stop learning, and to I guess
Well,
implement that in not only schools but society through I guess education campaigns even on TV would be a really good thing. I know they've done that in the UK in the form of like Scope. They had a really quite comical and funny ad that aimed to teach people how to interact with people with disabilities, and I think Australia would benefit from something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Is that before we do wrap up? Is there besides education? Is there any I guess advice on I guess improving the intersectionality of people here in Australia.
I guess my only real advice, particularly relating to the scenario in America and having that, I guess, bring awareness to Australia's own issues with our supporting of Indigenous people, is to support the people who are being oppressed. So, for instance, if people with disabilities, we currently support Indigenous people by attending these protests, signing petitions, getting involved and supporting them. Hopefully, when we achieve equality for Indigenous people, the people that we support will support us back in our, I guess, fight for equality. So the Indigenous folk will hopefully see that people with disability have contributed to helping get them to equality and acceptance, and hopefully they'll
And
reciprocate.
I guess it also reflects on human rights as well.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
these
And take that into consideration.
demonstrations, it's not. It turns sour when people start doing things that are illegal,
Yeah,
and
so when violence
it's not really
erupts.
a nice. Gets away from the true meaning of the demonstration.
Yeah, like if you are going to demonstrate
Mm.
and show support for Indigenous
Always do
people,
peacefully.
don't go throwing bricks or anything. Be peaceful, but like use your voice for good.
Exactly,
You wanna be
exactly.
heard, you be heard, but you don't go nasty about it. Then it's not gonna work in your
Exactly.
advantage. It's gonna
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
it's gonna keep a sour taste to it.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
what's happening
sure.
in America from the memory of George Floyd is gonna be. I don't think he'll be happy with what's happening now.
Yeah,
With
Yeah.
his
what's
family
happening.
has called for peaceful protests, and they do make a difference. And although the situation has gotten out of hand in the US, it is making a difference. I believe Australians hopefully won't follow that same path in their protests, but
I'm hoping they don't follow also.
yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon we have learned from their mistakes. Plus, we have the whole thing of we don't have guns and stuff, so the chances of it being really violent are slimmed down a lot. But yeah, I recommend supporting these people either by attending the protests or signing petitions, or at least sharing stuff online to bring awareness to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Peaceful's the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Going back to what Marija commented, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, implementing the curriculum into the schools. I think, yeah, it would be a great idea.
Because
So thanks for that comment.
you know what? I'm blind, and when I'm walking,
Yep.
a lot of kids ask their parents, "Mom or Dad, why is he holding a stick? What's he doing with
Mm.
it?" And some of the parents tell them to be quiet because they're embarrassed.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
And when they tell them to be quiet, I stop and then I talk to the kids. So this
Yeah.
is because I can't see. He helps me see.
Mm.
And if a lot of parents are actually explaining it to them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's good for kids to understand what disability is and for later on to walk out of the way or to help and guide if they need to.
Yeah. When parents, like, I guess, shush their children or try, I guess, take them away from a situation when they do have questions about someone who is different, when they, I guess, have a negative reaction like that, it kind of reinforces in the child that they should avoid people like that. So if they see a person in a wheelchair and a child asks a question about that, and they're like, oh, no, you can't ask questions like that, they begin to see that as a negative thing. Or if they see a person of colour and they ask, why is their skin different? And the parent's like, no, you can't ask that. They then are subconsciously taught that that's a bad thing. So I guess it all comes back to education, even just educating parents on how to talk about those questions that are raised and answer them in a positive way, so we don't accidentally reinforce the idea that being different is bad.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I guess we should wrap things up. Jonathan.
Did with the logo, have you want to discuss that, or
We can talk about that also.
or do you want that offline?
Before we go, one last comment from Martina Schubert.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, thanks for that, Marija. I think you should check that out on Netflix. It's a show called Quid Can. So, yeah, whenever you have time, check out that video. I think it's a good documentary that highlights, I guess, the topic of intersectionality. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
So,
seen the
thank you
trailer
for that,
for it.
Marija. Yeah, all good. Okay, so, yeah, let's wrap it up. Any last words?
I guess relating to the current COVID situation, just stay safe, wash your hands, and if possible, try order your groceries and stuff online. Keep connected with people through social media and face calls, because as we all know, people with disabilities, we're at higher risk, so we have to take more precautions than everyone else.
Yeah, I guess it's always look after your hygiene, and wash your hands regularly and stay safe.
And also, if you're going to demonstrate, do it peacefully.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you'll get further.
Yeah, good stuff. Any last word, Jonathan?
No. You will be watching Criticize your weekly podcast on everything disability. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. See you next week for more clips.
See you guys.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.